What's up, everybody? Welcome to another edition of the Reality TV RHAPpy Hour. My name is Jordan Parhar, and today we are back talking about Big Brother Canada 5 live on RHAPhasawebsite.com. And with me today is a good pal of mine who is staying up late with me on the West Coast. Good thing you're not on the East Coast, because that would be very rough. But coming to us live from LA, her internet connection's not doing so hot. She's a little sleepy, but she's here. It is Melissa Deni, ladies and gentlemen. Melissa, how are you?
I'm good. I thought you were going to refer to me as that one girl or that new girl.
Yes,
that's
new
what
girl.
Kevin.
Yes, that's right.
Now, so I'll take what I can get, and if that's it, if it's nameless, that's fine.
Yes, that's right. For those of you who did not see today, Kevin gave a shout out on the live feeds to the RHAPpy crew. He said, shout out to Taryn, shout out to Alex Kidwell, shout out to Brent, the villain of the podcast, shout out to Jordan Parhar, and oh yes, shout out to that new girl. Oh, she's good. What's her name? I can't remember. Oh, but Melissa, you told me in the pre-show that Kevin knew your name earlier in the season.
Yeah.
So I don't know what happened.
I don't understand it. It just left his brain, because earlier in the season he was telling Cassandra about me and saying that I was this new girl named Melissa and I'm a lawyer and blah, blah, blah. And now all of a sudden he's like, some random girl. But he did say that I have good insight when I'm not nervous.
When you're not nervous, so that's good. So that's
very good.
Yes. And you're definitely not nervous tonight, because it's the most this is the most laid back environment you could be in. This is I'm looking at the people watching this. I think this is the lowest number of viewers we've had all season, because it's so late. Everyone knows what's going to happen. So this is a super chill podcast. This is going to be fun. So yeah, Luna C in the chat says Kevin's brain is full of sprinkles right now, and yes, that's true. It is.
Yes,
from that study board. So so we're not going to hold it against Kevin. I will say, interesting. He forgot to shout out Rob, but that's shout out to the RHAPpy crew. Forgets about Rob, which is very
RHAPpy without Rob.
Yes, I think maybe he meant the RHAPpy Hour crew, but hey, it's okay, Kev. We'll forgive you. Just to set things up for you guys, we are live on RHAPhasawebsite.com. We're talking about Big Brother Canada 5. It is very late on the East Coast. It's still late on the West Coast here, so not a ton of people here tonight. Not sure how late we're going to go, but we'll talk about the episode a little bit. We'll get into the live feeds a little bit later. We're going to be taking some of your questions as well. Hashtag RHAPpy Hour if you want to send those in on Twitter. I am at Jordan Parhar. We'll be looking at those later on in the show, and I hope to do more questions today, because there isn't a ton to talk about. So feel free to send those in. Also, you might be wondering, hey, why is it just JP and Melissa? Well, that's because Rob Sesternino and Brent and Alex and Taryn, they are all in Toronto for the live Know-It-Alls, KIA, as they're calling it, A with EH, the Canadian way of saying A. So they're at that taping tonight, and they are at the Big Brother Canada 5 live show, which is going to be tomorrow night, or today if you're listening to this in the audio archives. So if you want to get tickets for that, they're still available. RHAPhasawebsite.com/TorontoBBCan. You're going to see some BBCan alum that are going to be there. Lots of other great stuff. So definitely check that out if you are in the greater Toronto area. Okay, Melissa, let's just jump into this episode. I mean, I guess the big thing we want to talk about is this veto ceremony. And the internet went very well. Twitter went very crazy when this happened. Kevin, just to recap for people who do not see the episode, obviously Dimitri and Ika are on the block. Kevin wins the power veto courtesy of the Baywatch competition, and then instead of leaving the nominations the same as many people thought he would do, he takes Ika off the block. He puts Dylan up in her place. Dimitri says that Kevin is the dumbest Big Brother Canada mastermind of all time. Dimitri, I think you need to go back and watch Big Brother Canada 3 one more time. See that guy in week 5. I think that guy might be the dumbest Big Brother Canada mastermind of all time, but not 100% sure. But anyway, so now we were in the situation that a lot of people were not expecting. I certainly was not expecting, and I was very. I'll be honest, I was uneasy when I saw this happen. Ika's off the block. Now it's Dimitri and Dylan up on the block next to each other. Ika and Karen have the 2 votes this week. Melissa, what do we think about this move from Kevin? First, let's look at it just the move in general, and then let's talk about. I'll talk about some other stuff. So, just your thoughts on the move.
Uh, my thoughts on the move as a viewer are great because now potentially and probably Dimitri's and Ika will stay and Kevin will be there too. And we'll get rid of Dylan, who's kind of a peripheral player. So, you know, who cares, right? And so my thoughts on the move as a viewer are like, great, awesome, fun to watch. Ika tells him to, you know, shove the veto somewhere, and then he's just decides to use it on her. So it was kind of a weird, fun turn of events. Great. But on the other hand, the move for Kevin, very, 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 very bad. Just bad. I mean, this could turn around and like he could, you know, win the game. This could be a great move. It could turn out that like everything works out in his favor, but from where we are sitting right now, it is just not a good move at all. I mean, especially after Ika does that giant like speech in the ceremony, it's like you'd think that in his mind he'd be like, okay, wait, maybe I should go back. Maybe I should rethink this. Like this can't be good for me. But he did it anyway, and I felt like Dylan at the end of the ceremony when Dylan's like, "What?" And I was just like, "Yep, same." What?
Yeah, I'm surprised we didn't get some like a sound of Dylan's heavy breathing in there when he's on the block, like what? In terms of how this happened on feeds, Melissa, you know, from what we were shown in the episode, it was portrayed as Kevin won the veto. He says in the pantry, he's like, it's like a funeral in here. Every time I win something, this is great. I love it. I might mix things up. Let's see what happens. And then he has this conversation with Karen where Karen's like, you know, sketching him out a little bit. He's like, oh, crap. They're going to vote Ika out. I need to take her off the block and save her so she doesn't go home this week because I know I can kick her ass in competitions. Is that basically the sequence of how it went down on the feeds, or was this something that Kevin decided before the competition even started?
Yeah, he had pretty much come up with the plan before the competition had even happened. So I honestly, I struggle to find out, like, to figure out like where he thinks this is like a good move. Like, I understand his reasoning, but like he's played with these guys the entire season. He knows that, you know, Karen and Dylan and these people just like aren't logical. Like how does he like all of a sudden think that Karen is gonna, you know, make a move that's like a really good strategic move that makes sense to Kevin? Like I don't get it.
I do agree that is the flaw in Kevin's thinking. I will say that yes, Karen is an illogical player, and I think Kevin should know that. But to defend Kevin a little bit, and big surprise, the biggest Kevin fanboy in the world is going to defend him. So if you don't want to hear this, then just turn this podcast off because I'm going to defend Kevin a little bit here. Well, is this a good move? Absolutely not. But I will say that Karen making a move so that she guarantees she does not win this game, essentially, from my perspective, by getting rid of Dylan. I don't know if we can really blame Kevin for that. Does that make sense? Like with what Karen is doing, she is basically saying, okay, from Kevin's perspective, he's like, okay, Karen is going to save Dylan because Dylan is Karen's only shot of winning this game, and Dylan will take Karen to the end of the game. But so that's why I think for him, he's just like, well, there's no way she's going to vote out Dylan, because then she has nobody that's gonna, you know, take her to the end. Well, other than I guess Kevin, but she can't win against Kevin. She can't win against Dimitri. She can't win against Ika. So I don't know if we can really fault Kevin for making this move as much as people are faulting him for it. Is this a bad move? Yes. Is this the worst move in the history of Big Brother Canada? And is Kevin the dumbest Big Brother Canada player ever? No. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I don't think.
Am I crazy for saying that? Because Twitter was like assassinating Kevin for this move, and I was like, and you know, and Brent was going on saying this is worse than your move, JP, and all this stuff. I'm like, guys, let's think about this, okay? Kevin is Kevin going home directly because of this move? Well, he might in the final four. He is not going home in this round. And now, if you would have left the nominations the same, which would have been the other move, okay? Ika goes home. Then he's got to compete against Dylan and Dimitri in the final four. That's not really a good scenario. And if he takes Ika off and he puts Karen up, How do we not know that Dylan's going to be like, oh, yeah, okay, and get fooled by Iker and Dimitri and vote to save Dimitri as well? So I feel like this is a situation, Melissa, where no matter what Kevin does, he is screwed. He is screwed. This is one where he took a risk. He thought, okay, I can make a play. I can try to guarantee this. It's going to blow up in his face, but at least he tried to do something. If he would have just left the nominations the same, Ike is going home 100%. He's competing against Dimitri and Dylan in that final four, and that's a tougher road. Now he's just got to compete against one guy now. One of these big threats is going home.
Well, I think we can all agree that his move is not worse than your move.
Thank you. Okay. So that's the first thing. And if you think that, go back and watch season 3, because I'm sorry, this does not compare. Kevin is in a situation where he has to win out. He makes this move. He is still in a situation where he has to win out. I was in a situation where I was in one of the better spots in the game. I made my move and I went home. So there is no comparing these two moves. I am sorry. Okay, continue, Melissa.
Yeah. No, I mean, I see where he's coming from. Like, I absolutely see, like, because he speaks to the live feeders and he just sits. I mean, he's by himself all the time. He just sits in a room and he basically talks to us like as if we're his friends or something, and which I actually like because I like to hear where his mind is at. But I understood the logic behind it, but at the same time, like, Dylan is not a competition beast. Like, Dylan has won like one competition, hasn't he? And he's not really a threat at all. Like, not that Ike is a threat, not that Karen's a threat, but like Dylan's not a threat. So like between getting out one of the people from a pair who are going to take each other to the final two, or at least like have, unless they pull a John and a Netta.
But you know what? Here's the thing though with that argument that people are like, oh, you're splitting up. Kevin should have split up the pair. He knows they're going to take each other. Yeah, everyone's going to take each other. No one's taking Kevin. It doesn't matter who is taking who. He's just because he's.
But we don't know that they won't take Kevin.
Melissa, I feel like I'm sorry. We know there is nobody. I am sorry. There is nobody in this game that is taking Kevin to the final two based on who he has in the jury, based on, with all of his friends. Is Karen going to take him in any scenario? No. Is Dylan going to take him in any scenario? Maybe if it's like Dylan, Dimitri, and Kevin. But even then, I think Dylan is delusional and thinks, oh, I can beat Dimitri. So he probably wouldn't take me either. Ike is not going to take him. None of them are going to take him. So I'm sorry. That's one hole in your argument I'm just going to point out. But continue. Sorry. Just channeling my inner Brent this evening. I'm sorry.
No, hey, it's fine. I get it. Kevin's a friend of yours. Kevin's also I think Kevin's a good player. I like to hear the way he thinks, but I think that we were talking about this on the round table on Sunday, is that Kevin views everyone as like chess pieces and he thinks of it in a fully logical way. Whereas, everybody else that's left there, except for maybe Dimitri's, is very emotional and they don't think about it necessarily in like, what is my best move to move forward? They're also playing for other people because you got Karen playing for Ike and Dimitri's, you've got Ike playing for Dimitri's, you've got Dimitri's playing for Ike. Like, everybody's playing for different people. They're not just looking out in their own best interest. And I think that's where Kevin is getting lost, is he's thinking that everybody is looking out for themselves. Everybody's playing a logical game. Everyone's going to make the logical move. And if everybody was making the logical move, then this is a great move. But we see that everybody else is making crazy moves that we're like, why? And he's not seeing that, which that I think does kind of fall on Kevin's shoulders, because like he's been playing with these people all game. And I mean, he's seen Karen, she's kind of cuckoo sometimes, and he's seen that. He's seen cuckoo. Well, I'm trying to be a little nice, but very cuckoo. And you've got like Dylan, who's kind of crazy too, very emotional. He like cries all the time and plays with his heart and all that sort of stuff. And then you've got Ike, who's like yelling and gets crazy. Like, I just feel like he's not viewing these people as people with their own set of like emotions and goals. He's viewing these people as chess pieces, which like that's going to be, I think, where his downfall comes in.
Yeah, I mean, it certainly could. I'm just, from my perspective, in terms of this being and yes, this hurts Kevin's game because now he's got to go through Dimitri in order to win. But again, I mean, we don't know if he puts up Karen. What's for Dylan to say? Hey, why don't I just get rid of Karen? Because if I get rid of Karen, then I become the pawn. I get dragged to the end of this game, and I have a chance at winning. I mean, who knows? Hard to. Well, I don't know. There's a possibility that happens. I'm just going to throw that out there. I'm not going to defend it completely. But yeah, it's. I don't know. I get where people are coming from. I get why people are hating on Kevin. I just don't think it deserves as much hate as it's getting. Also, too, it's a lot easier from our perspective to see, oh, Kevin's dumb. Why is he doing this? Obviously, Karen's going to go with Ika and Dimitri after seeing that conversation in the episode where Karen's going off and saying like, oh, here, I wrote down some of these quotes. Karen says, quote, I want something to win that's deserving of it. I don't want Kevin Martin to win. The wrong person doesn't deserve it. So there you go. So, I mean, if Kevin sees these conversations.
She was saying sometimes evil wins.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, wait, like who's the evil person in this scenario? Like, she's a little outrageous.
I really don't know. So, I mean, yeah, if Kevin's had all this information, if Kevin's seeing all this stuff and he makes this move still, then yeah, absolutely. One of the dumbest moves ever. I still don't, I just don't think it's that stupid. It's bad, just not that bad. Anyway, that's my take on it. I've rambled on enough about it. So basically, we're in this situation. So Ika is safe now. Karen's gonna vote. Dylan and Dimitri are on the block. Kevin's safe. Kevin's got to win out, and he's going to have to go through Dimitri. It's going to be a very tough road for him, and things are looking up for Damika in this game right now, Melissa.
Yeah, surprisingly, once again.
Amazing. It really is amazing that, and I think, are we now at a point, I feel we can safely say one of Kevin, Ika, Dimitri is going to win this game without question to this point. Is that fair to say?
I mean, I think so. I'm trying to imagine.
Can Karen win? Yeah, can Karen win in any scenario? I know there was this at Steen and Nitz on Twitter was talking. I think this was yesterday, the day before, saying Karen's got 3 votes locked up. But do we think that? I don't know. Based on what Kevin has been doing this week, with his social game, is he hurting his chances with this move and some other things he's been doing, or do you still think Kevin can beat Karen relatively safely in the final 2 scenario?
I mean, I know that Karen and Dylan were talking about like when they go to one of them or both of them goes to the jury, they're going to like taint the jury against Kevin and they're going to tell him everything that Kevin has done to them and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't think anyone would go for it. I don't know if anyone would buy it, but you know,
I would actually
saying they will.
So I would actually say, and on that, I would say that from my experience as a juror, when somebody comes in and tells you how to vote and what to do, that just makes you want to do the other thing. You want to go do something else. Unless that person has directly screwed you, you don't like there's like, what's the incentive for everybody to flip on Kevin? I don't know. But it's interesting because I think Bruno is probably in there right now campaigning hard for Kevin. Now Dylan is presumably going to go in there and campaign hard against Kevin. So it'll be interesting to see how that turns out. I think we're at a point, though, safely, where one of those 3 is going to win this game, Kevin, Ika, or Dimitri. And for me, I'm satisfied with that win. Ika, I think, has played, Ika's played the best game this season, right? Hands down. I think we can all agree on that. Socially, strategically, she's done such a great job. She obviously deserves to win this thing. But Dimitri, great job in the competitions. Kevin, great job in the competitions. And I don't think you can ignore the competitions when they've won as many as they're going to win, presumably, if one of Kevin or Dimitri gets to final 2. And if we look at the past winners of this game, it's all people who have won lots of competitions for the most part. You look at season 1, Jillian won a bunch of comps that season. I think it was 4 HOHs, 1 POV. John Party wins, I think it was like 6 comps in BB Can 2, BB Can 3, Sarah Hanlon, that's the one outlier, and then BB Can 4, the Pax Bros. So, that now the wheels in my head are spinning a little bit here, Melissa. Do we think that now that this is set up this way, that basically Dimitri is probably going to win this next HOH, right? So he's basically going to go to final 3. So I feel like Kevin or Dimitri, one of them is in a really good spot to win this thing. I think the only way Ika wins is if she's against Dimitri and Dimitri takes her, right?
I mean, I could see Ika winning in any scenario, but I also could see everybody else winning in any scenario. So it's like going to be really tough. Like even when I feel like normally when you get down to the final two, you're kind of like, okay, I can kind of see who's going to win. Like I already pretty much can see what the jury's going to do. In this situation, it's because it's hard to say, you know, I mean, like, you know, people like Cindy, when she was like irrationally mad at Bruno, like, you know, who knows if she's going to be like mad at Kevin saying that Kevin should have stopped her or whatever. Like, who knows? So I don't know what people are feeling in the jury, but I think that all three of them did like played great games. And I think that all three of them would be great winners. So I wouldn't be, you know, dissatisfied with any of them. I think that Ika played a great game, although it was very erratic and very crazy and it shouldn't have worked, but somehow she made it work, which is amazing and great. And then, you know, Dimitri's, like, I feel like Ika couldn't have done it though without Dimitri's, because I think that he won all the competitions and he won when he needed to. And he also was this calming presence, and he had a great social game in the house, and he was able to, you know, kind of smooth things over and make Ika seem more calm and cool and collected. And you've got Kevin over here who for the last part of the game has just like fought his way. So I think all three of them are deserving winners. I think, and I mean, like Dimitri's is so nice. He seems like such a genuinely great guy. I think he's, you know, I think he'd be a great winner. And Ika is so entertaining. I mean, they all bring stuff to the table. Kevin is like great. I don't know. I'm sorry. I just keep like singing all their praises, but I'm very satisfied with the way that the game is turning out, just because there are so many deserving winners left in the end. Whereas normally we're left with maybe one or two deserving winners. And then like the rest of them, like you'd be like, I do not want them to win. If they win, I'm gonna be so pissed. And you've got just like one person maybe that you're like rooting for, and you know, then they get quickly, like they give them quickly the boot. So I'm very excited that we could potentially end up with a great final two.
Yeah, it's going to be a really good battle, and I'm excited to see. We're like a week away from this. I keep forgetting. We're so close. So it's going to be really fun to see what this final two is going to look like. If Karen's in it, then I think it might be if she's against any of these three, maybe with Kevin she's got a shot, but against Ika and Dimitri, I think it's no contest. I think it's a pretty easy win for both of them. So hopefully we got two competitors, Ika and Dimitri. I mean, I'm so torn. As a fan, I want to see Ika and Dimitri. As a human being, I would want to see Kevin in the final two, obviously, because he's such a good friend of mine. But it's I have no idea what's going to happen. It could go in a lot of different directions. And you know what? There's still lots. Who knows what could happen here with this final four? Aaron Brock, the executive producer for Big Brother Canada, was on a podcast today with Rob, a bonus show with Rob and Arissa Cox, which is really fun. So go check that out if you haven't already. And in that, she said that there are still more surprises to come. So we'll see. Maybe there's some twist or something at the end that could change this up a little bit. I will say, though, Aaron Brock also did say in the preseason that something will be done this season that has never happened before, which we have not seen yet at this point. So maybe that's just a little bit of smoke and mirrors. I'm not sure, but we'll see. Something could be happening there. All right. I guess we can just talk about in terms of stuff that happened on this episode of note here, Melissa. So we talked about the end of this episode, Ika losing her mind, going at Kevin, telling him to shove the veto up his ass, and then he uses it on her. Dimitri says, I'm going to win the competition next week, so watch out for me. Yada, yada, yada. I'm just trying to think other stuff. I mean, this competition, the POV, there's some people talking about how Ika was helping Dimitri in this competition, and Kevin still won. So shout out to my boy Kev for pulling that off on his own. Did you like that Big Brother Canada, the producers, that they let them help each other in that competition? Because infamously, Big Brother Canada won. There was a veto comp where, I believe it was a veto comp, where Emmett was helping Jillian after he got eliminated. And then, or no, Emmett had advanced to the next round and he was helping Jillian. And then they disqualified him from the competition because he helped her. So what do you think about this? Should house guests be allowed to help other house guests in these competitions?
I think that if you're still in the competition, it's different than if you're watching from the sidelines and you're helping. I think that if you know, and I also think it's different. Like, I mean, if she had like gone in there and like dragged the body out to like give it to him or something, like that wouldn't be cool. But the fact that she just told him like it's over there, I don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, if she wants to tank her own veto game, then, you know, go ahead. If she wants to just stand there and like tell him, you know, what to do. I mean, this competition, like, okay, I loved it because it was really cool. Like the setup was great. It was fun to watch. You know, you had them dragging the bodies. You had the fire in the background. Like I was loving the setup, and I was loving the concept of having like a physical part, and then you had like the mental part. It was like very Survivor-esque, but I also thought that it heavily favored guys, like heavily favored. There's no possible way that I could drag one of those bodies out of the pool or even up up through the water. Like no way. And then you have to like dump out the water, climb over the thing. No, those guys looked that they were struggling with it. I mean, there was no way that Ika was going to win or Karen was going to win. Like, I mean, that was just like not fair. I mean, no way.
Yeah, I feel like, I don't know, they should have, the bodies should have been weighted based on their own weights or something like that, way to give them an advantage, because they've done that in competition before, right? Like stuff is done based on height and other things like that. So yeah, I feel like they could have adjusted that and made that a little more fair. But
yeah, I was sitting there like, oh please, like really, like Ika with her tiny little skinny arms,
and Karen, no chance.
Over, no. And poor Karen, she's like trying, and it's just like, it was fair.
I will give it to Karen. Karen did not give up on that competition, and that was not easy. So good on her.
Yeah.
And good on Dylan for not giving up on the puzzle, even though he was just like, from what I saw, he was just like staring at it the whole time. He was like, oh, what do I do here?
No, it was so funny because it was like, it was down to Kevin and Demetrius, and then all of a sudden we cut to like a DR of Dylan, and he's like, the three of us boys, we're in the finals, we're gonna win, one of us is gonna win, it's the three of us. I'm like, wait, what? Where did you come from? Like, it was literally, they were showing like Kevin and Demetrius, and then he's just like, it's just us guys now. I was like, oh my God, where did you come from?
I was watching the episode before this with my mom, and then she was like, oh my God, Dimitri, Kevin, who's going to win? Because my mom's had a busy week at work, so she didn't know who had won the veto. And she's like, who's going to win? And then my dad's like, I think Dylan's going to win. Look, he's doing really well.
You're like, wait, what?
And Dylan's just standing there. My mom killed herself laughing. Dylan's just like standing there.
Oh God.
It's very funny.
The way that it's edited, like they're getting Dylan like a very good edit, because my mom, she doesn't watch the live feeds, like, although I tell her what's going on, but she watches the episodes, and she was like,
oh, your mom watches BB Can? No way. I did not know that.
I've convinced her to watch it. She loves
That's awesome.
My whole family is into BB US, but I've gotten them into BB Can. I had them watch BB Can too.
Bravo. Well done.
So, you know, kind of trying to get them into it. But so she watched it, and she's like, I'm liking Dylan. He seems like a really nice guy. I was like, yeah, well, the episodes will make you, you know, think that he's like the star of the show.
You know what's so funny is my mom also loves Dylan. So maybe it's a mom thing. Maybe it's a mom thing. I don't know.
I get it though. I mean, the episodes are like, they're edited so that he's like, he's nice, and he's like crying, and he's like in a cute little showmance with like Emily, and it's just all this like sweet stuff. And like, it's very, and like they had the goofy dancing segments, and like, to make him into this like character that he just like wasn't on the feed.
Well, Aaron Brock said today on that podcast with Rob, she said Dylan is a hero now. I was like, wait, what? Dylan's a hero? But then I was like, you know what? Now I think about how they've edited him. He is kind of edited as a hero.
They're giving him the thing, and I gotta give it to him. He's kind of won me over. I feel bad for him. Like, I felt bad when he like got put on the block like in this episode. Like, he looked genuinely
sad. Dylan got so
screwed. And
that is the worst.
Every time there's like a giant confront, for some reason he gets in these confrontations with people. Like, people will yell at him, like, for just like like when Dylan wanted to pick a fight. Remember Demetrius in the beginning, he like picked a fight with him, and then more recently like someone else yelled at, like Dre yelled at him, and it's like every time he's so calm about it, and he's always like, what was that about afterwards? And it's just so funny because he like isn't supposed to be in these conflicts, but they're like manufactured conflicts to like try and show other people that people are fighting. And it's just like, poor Dylan, he gets dragged into it.
Yeah, that Dre one was like, I was like, what is happening here? Like Dre went really crazy on him. But yeah, it's funny. We saw that, we've seen that a few times this season where normally on Big Brother seasons, and I'm thinking typically Big Brother US, we see people get in these huge fights and they're both going at each other back and forth and they say stuff. Whereas with, this season, it's been a lot of just like one-sided going at each other. We did see Dylan and Dallas go at each other there. That was kind of a thing. But, we saw, that Dre and Dylan thing. And then we saw today a couple times.
Yeah.
Ika just going at Kevin, just going at him. And Kevin's just like, yeah, like she's like, you've broken so many promises, Kevin. You're such a hypocrite. And Kevin's like, yeah, I have broken promises. I was like, Kevin, how are you not getting mad? This is crazy.
I think it's very impressive. I think it's great how people, they can like kind of keep their cool in situations like that. I feel like I would, like, I don't know what I would do because I don't really get yelled at like that. So like, I don't know, but I think it's really great that he's able to just like maintain this like calm, demeanor, even though he's getting like just like blasted. It's just crazy.
My biggest regret as Big Brother player was not having the opportunity to have someone yell at me and get in a fight on the show. I did have Risha yell at me pre-feeds before they came on, but other than that, no. Other than that, I didn't get in anything that aired on the show.
Pre-feeds doesn't count.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
yeah, pre-feeds does not count. Actually, it was a couple times she yelled at me, but she yelled at a lot of people, so I'll give Risha a pass. So I guess the other main thing we talked about the competition, we have this task, which is essentially supposed to be like, I mean, it's funny. They're doing all of these things as like a blast from the past. Like they do the triple eviction last week. They do the not quite Ika shredding the letters, but like a joke on it with the Karen task last episode.
Yeah.
And this episode, basically what this is the freeze task from Big Brother Canada 1. And it's the exact same. We have Dylan's mom come in instead of Andrew Monahan's twin brother, Pete. We have his mom come in, and I think it's his dog. That was, again, talking about how Dylan's a hero. That was a super, super touching moment. I really, really liked that. Did you like this task? What did you think about it, Melissa?
Well, it was an exact replica task of BB Australia.
Okay.
So 2013. Like exact replica. They had the tour come in with the tour guide and they all had to freeze, and the tour guide kind of pointed people out and had them like pretend to take pictures with them or like poke them or whatever. Then they had a clown come in. This time it was Sarah, but
oh no! Did we lose Melissa? Melissa froze. Oh, there you are. You're back. Sorry, you just froze for a second.
Am I back?
You're back. So you were saying the tour guide, and then you after that.
Yeah. Okay. It was a tour guide, and then they had a clown come in and throw pies at the face, and then they had a loved one come in. It was literally the exact same thing. And like, I love the task because I think it's really like fun and funny to watch. Like even on the live feeds, like I mean they didn't show all of it on the live feeds, but when they would show some like times when they'd have them rewind or like go forward and stuff like that. And that was kind of fun. And I think that generally it's a super fun task, but I had already seen it on Big Brother Australia. And the whole entire time I just kept thinking like, I've seen this. I've seen this one too. I've seen this task too. Who's the loved one going to be, And I was kind of hoping that maybe they would like mix it up a little. I mean, I know that they did it. Yeah. On BB Can 1. Right. And then, And Big Brother Australia, the one that I'm talking about was 2013. So it was after BB Can 1. So BB Can 1 did this task first, I think, unless Big Brother Australia did it before. But the exact same scenarios with the exact same, like the clown and the this and the that. Like, I just wish they did something different.
Yeah, I do too. But I did like the moment with Dylan. I will say it was good that he got that moment, especially with him going, in this position this week. I'm glad that he got something out of this. What did you think of Sarah?
Also, like, how unfair is it? How unfair that one person gets a loved one visit?
Hey, it was the same thing on BB Can 1. Same thing. Andrew Monahan got his twin, ridiculous. And nobody got anyone else. I mean,
it's totally unfair. Like, it's like, why not give each person a loved one?
Yeah, I guess.
I would have much preferred to have seen Ika's kids come in.
Yeah, that would have been good.
That would have been insane.
That would have been
It
great.
might have been too insane, but it would have been really great.
Might have been a little too insane. Also, too, Kevin got a loved one. Sarah Hanlon came in, so there was that. Right? That counts.
There you go.
That counts. What did you think?
Yeah, I think that's close enough.
Who are you? Who's better, Sarah Hanlon or the Zingbot? What do you pick?
Oh, I picked the Zingbot. No offense, Sarah.
Yeah,
it seems like
Sarah,
a great gal.
Sarah, I love you, but I think I gotta go Zingbot too. If that's what she's going for, I will say on my season we did like a task where Sarah had to roast us all, and she was amazing. She roasted us all so well. On this, she roasted Kevin and she roasted Dylan, but other than that, like, was there any roasting going on? I don't know. It was just like pies in the face. So I was like, okay. Yeah, I'm not sure what was happening there. Lunacy.
And also, like, they should have shown it on the feeds. They just should have shown all of this on the feeds. What is this garbage that we don't get to watch anything anymore? Like, it's crazy. Like, and then we don't get to watch the full thing anyway when they show it on the show. So, like, what's the point of being a live feeder? I don't quite understand. Like, it makes me so angry. Yeah,
I mean that I don't know. Maybe if only you could have been there in that Aaron Brock interview, Melissa. Maybe you could. Yeah,
I'd have been like, "Hey, let me give you a piece of my mind."
Right? Say something about that. But yeah, I don't know. Like, again, like there's been other times where people have been in the house and they show that because how cool would that have been to see Sarah Hanlon on the feeds? I think that would have been a lot of fun. But guess not. They just didn't want to do it. So I don't know. Sponsors, I guess.
Womp womp.
So what happens when you get free feeds? They can do whatever they want. So yeah, that was it. Also, I think you could maybe people couldn't tell this from his voice, but the tour guide leader was Trevor Boris, who is one of the executive producers of the show. That's a little Easter egg for you guys. I think a lot of people know who he is, but if you don't know, that's the guy who does all the comps. He does a lot of other stuff behind the scenes as well. But yeah, the guy who was like saying, yes, that is Dimitri's muscles. You can feel them. Yeah, that was him. So I like that. Also, I recognized someone from production that was one of the people, like, as the one of the people on the tour. So I don't know.
Really?
I'm assuming that was all production, because at first I was like, oh, they've like found actual fans, because that was cool. But then if it was actual fans, I don't think actual fans would have been able to keep their cool as much as those
they
guys
might
did.
Like freak out a little. Yeah, people were asking on Twitter, like, is it fans or is it like hired actors or is it production? Like, who is it?
Production. Yeah, that was production.
But yeah.
So yeah, that was, I mean, I guess that's pretty much it there then, Melissa. I mean, we went through all of this. I guess we can talk about live feeds. We've been talking about the episode enough. Are you ready for them?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. So we'll talk about live feeds. We'll get into questions after that. Not really a lot we have to talk about on live feed, so just stick around. The spoilers at this point, it's like, come on, it's Final Five. Like, just hang around. I'm not even going to give you that long of a spoiler warning. So spoilers are coming in 3, 2, 1. Okay, Melissa, who is going home this week?
Dylan. Well, we think. I mean, unless like crazy happens.
Everything has stayed the same, though. Karen wants to vote him out. Okay, so has there been any campaigning on Dylan's part? Has he even tried to save himself?
Yeah, he did a little bit. He spoke with Karen, and honestly, it was the most like frustrating conversation ever, because Karen was just being a total idiot. No offense to Karen or Karen's family, but she was being it was just like killing me, because someone was like, why are you doing this? Because she was like, I'm gonna vote you out. And he's like, why? And she's like, because since day one, I've been in an alliance with Ika and Dimitri's, and we've been true to each other this whole game, and it would be horrible for me to turn my back on them. And he was like, but didn't they just go against you like a couple weeks ago? And she's like, yeah, they did do that. Yeah. And he's like, well, then like you guys haven't really been true to each other. And she's like, well, that they had their ears were, influenced by the wrong people. And it was just like, and he's like, you do realize that like you're not going to win against them or whatever. And she's like, yeah, I know. And it was just like why?
So tell me this, Melissa, why is Karen's move not like by voting out Dylan? Is that not just as bad as Kevin's move of using the veto?
Okay, I think the reason why people aren't like freaking out about Karen's move is because like they expect more from Kevin. Like, I don't think people expect that much from Karen. I think she's like, I mean, obviously when we got in that argument with the chat the other night, apparently I'm very out of touch with the fan base because there was a bunch of Karen fans in the chat who were like, she's gonna win. I was just like, give her credit. So, I mean, you know, my thinking is like, I'm like annoyed with her move, but I'm not thinking like, I'm shocked by her move. Like, I can't believe Karen would choose to like evict Dylan, and that's not in her best interest.
Yes, and so I get that, but I will just say, if you're listening to this podcast, like, just think about that then. Like, Karen went in a situation where, okay, door number 1, she is guaranteed final 2. Ika is going to take her to the end if she wins. Dylan is going to take her to the end if he wins. Kevin is going to take her to the end if he wins, okay? Guaranteed in every scenario. By splitting up that pair, she is going to final 2, and she could win against Dylan. In the door number 2, okay, she's now in a situation where she might not go to the final 2. Kevin would probably take her to the final 2. Dimitri or Ika might, depending on who's left, but if Kevin goes out here at final 4, I kind of think both Dimitri and Ika are going to take each other to the end of this game, which means she's not even going to have a chance to argue her case. So does that not mean, whereas with Kevin's options, okay, in his scenario, yeah, it's a lot tougher. He's got in door 1, he's got to win out. In door 2, he's got to win out. So I feel like Karen's move is just as bad, if not worse, than what Kevin is doing. And yes, people are saying, oh, we expect more from Kevin. Yeah, okay, that's fine. I get that. But if we're just looking at this objectively, I think we need to be like, yo, Karen, you're giving up final 2. Like, this
is that's like her intention, though.
Move.
That's her intention, though.
But the intention of the game is to win, is it not? Well, what is the point of living in that house for 70 days? If you don't want to win, then I don't care what her intentions are, because that's not the game that we are playing here. The game you are playing is to win the game. It is not who can fuck over Kevin Martin. It is who can win the game.
I know. You're preaching to the choir here. I think that Karen has been frustrating me this whole week and last week. And every time she keeps crying to Ike and Dimitri, saying that she wants to give up her game for them. And because as a fan of the show, she would want to, you know, do what the fans would want. So she's thinking from a fan perspective. Like, how do you know what the fans want? You're not watching the game. You're in the game. And you should be trying to win. The fans want to see people trying to win. And also, you know, why does she automatically assume that just because she hates Kevin that everybody else hates Kevin? And
also too, and why does anyone not deserve to win this game? If the jury decides someone's going to win this game, then they win this game. That means Karen too, okay? And I'll just eat crow. She deserves to win the game if the jury decides that she wins. She deserves it. That's fine. That's just the stupid. I just hate that argument that, oh, we got to get rid of Kevin and we have to vote him out because he doesn't deserve to win. It's a dumb excuse. I don't like it.
I hate the excuse of like, let's vote him out because they don't deserve to win. Like, or like, you know, they have the money. They already have enough money. Like, they don't need it. Like, stuff like that. I hate that. Those things are garbage. Like, you need to just look at, you know, the game itself and what they've done in this game, you know, to get themselves further and how they've played just generally. Like, and also the whole, like, well, you know, I want a good person to win. Like, this is a game. You're not going to have good people in this game. And if you're a good person in the game, like, fine, but you're also like probably pretty boring. I don't know. All I know is that you've got to, it's Big Brother. Like, I know that's like the classic saying, which is like, it's Big Brother. You have to lie. You have to cheat, blah, blah, blah. But like, still, it really is though. It's like, that's the nature of the game. Yeah. And you can't fault somebody for lying or for, you know, making strong moves or thinking solely for themselves, because this is an individual game.
Yeah, it is an individual game. It is. There are no good people, as Luna C is saying. Yeah. There are no good people. Everyone is the hero of their own story, which is, I always find so funny when people are like, we're the heroes, they're the villains. You know, it's like, that's just not how it works. Everybody.
And most of the time, you're totally off on your reading of like, who's the villain, who's the hero. 100%. Like, I just remember so much in like the past seasons where like people who were like clearly the villains were like, we're the heroes. We have to rise up against the villains. And it was like reverse that. And then you got it right.
Yeah, no, it's and it's when you're in there, it is impossible to know who the heroes are. I mean, you can take a guess. I mean, when the audiences are clearly booing somebody in the house when they get when something happens, or they cheer when they get evicted, then you may have a sense of who the show is portraying to be the villain.
Yeah,
but
don't even get me started on like the audience like participation in the in the live episodes. It is so annoying. Like, it totally taints the game, and I've been saying this like every podcast. I feel like I have to, but it's just like,
Melissa, we needed you in
your microphone, Arissa.
We needed you.
I know she said in like one of the interviews or whatever, like, not many people know this, but I don't remember where she said this, or I heard this somewhere, but that like she like has a button and they can only hear when she's pressing the button. But like, you have to mute that more often because they can hear you. They can hear everybody behind you. Behind you. Like Julie Chen, they have her just her. You don't see the crowd behind him.
Nothing.
Like, you don't see the reaction. Like, people like being like, yeah or no. Like, you just, it ruins it.
That is the one.
It ruins the integrity of the game.
Yeah, that's the one thing, BB Can. You got to fix. You got to fix that. Yeah. We don't like that. All right, let's take some questions here, Melissa. All right, let's jump into this one. Okay, this one is from Mr. Robot Terran. Mr. Robot Terran says, who wins in a Kevin Dimitri final 2 and who wins in a Kevin Ika final 2? Hashtag RHAPpy Hour. What do you think there, Melissa?
That is a very hard question because it's hard to know what the jury is going to do at this point.
First off, though, are those scenarios possible? Because I don't even know if they're even possible at this point. I really don't think so.
I feel like,
because let's think.
I can't really imagine a scenario where Kevin and Dimitri's.
Yes, the scenario in which Kevin survives means he wins the power veto next week, okay, and he's the sole vote to evict. He's the sole vote to evict. We're assuming Dimitri wins HOH. He's going to vote out Ika. Yeah. So that scenario's dead. Then for Kevin to get to the final 2, he also has to win. And if it's Kevin, if it's between Karen or Dimitri,
Karen and Dimitri's, there's no way he's taking.
He's not taking Dimitri. So I feel like if it's Kevin in the final 2, it's Kevin against Karen, and it's that or bust at this point. There's no other scenario unless there's no scenario. If Kevin is
because he can't win HOH next week. He can't win
HOH next week. So Kevin and Karen, if Kevin's in the final 2, he's against Karen. He's not against Ika. He's not against Dimitri. But hypothetically, Melissa, if some shock wave comes in and that's the final 2, which I wouldn't mind.
It'd be great.
It would be great. What do you think in those 2 scenarios? First Dimitri, Kevin?
I think that's
probably the closer of the 2, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that could be a closer vote because I could see the vets going with Kevin, except for Ika, and I see Karen and Dylan going with Dimitri's, and Dre and William. I guess William would probably go with Kevin. Dre would probably go with Dimitri. Oh no, she didn't like him. No, she didn't like Kevin either. Never mind. She didn't like any of them. She doesn't like either of them. She said she didn't like either of them. So, I guess she'd go with Dimitri's because probably Ika would talk to her and be like, hey.
Yeah.
We're doing Dimitri's.
I think if we look at it, I think Dimitri versus Kevin, it's really going to be close. It's going to come down to, Kevin's got those vet votes of Netta, Bruno, and Netta, Bruno, Cindy, those 3. He's got one. That's 4. He needs 1 more because this is a jury of 9. I think Kevin can get that 1 other vote. I do think he would be able to rope that in against Dimitri. Actually, I don't know though. To be honest, it would come down to Jackie. It comes down to Jackie or Dre. And if you can't get Dre, I don't know if he's getting Jackie because Dimitri made that speech at the end. So to be honest, I think Dimitri would win that in the final 2. But
I think Dimitri's might win.
And also too, all Dimitri has to say is, look, Kevin tried to get me out 2 weeks in a row and he failed both times. Vote for me to win. And I think he wins right there. So I think Dimitri wins that one. And if it's Ika and Kevin, I think it's the exact same thing. I think, actually, you know what? I think it might be different because is Jackie going to vote for Ika to win this game? I really don't think so.
I don't think so.
Right? So that
I don't think she would.
There's your Kevin Martin starting 5. So look at that. Kevin is in a better situation if he goes to the end with Ika than he is.
Although we have to think Is Cindy mad?
No.
Is she angry?
No, because Kevin gave her the sympathy vote. She was mad at Bruno because Bruno didn't do that. Cindy, if Kevin is in the final 2, Cindy is voting for Kevin. Based on what I know of both of them, what I know of their relationship and their friendship outside of this house, Cindy will vote for Kevin to win this game. If Kevin is in the final 2, and unless, if it's Kevin and Ika, maybe Cindy considers it, but I do think she would vote for Kevin to win this thing. But again, I think this is a bit of a moot point just because the only way Kevin gets to the end is with Karen. And in that scenario, I think Kevin is winning this game. I think he's got it. I don't think Jackie is going to vote for Karen. I don't think Dre is going to vote for Karen based on some of the things she said in her post-game interviews.
I can't really see people voting for Karen.
I can't really either.
Maybe Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan and
Ike,
Dylan, maybe those
three.
But even to be honest, I think one of Ike and Dimitri would vote for Kevin. I think
both Ike and Dimitri would vote for Kevin. I mean, they were just talking on the feeds about how one of the 3 of them has to win.
Okay, good. Okay, so that's good.
They were saying that like that's the only way it'd be good. So,
I was a little concerned, but the more I talked myself into it, I was like, okay, I think Kevin could win against Karen.
No,
could you imagine, Melissa, if Kevin wins out, he has all this immunity, goes with Karen, and he loses.
Oh my God, that would be so bad.
I will tell you guys right now, when I see Kevin, post show, I'm going to cry really hard because I'm a baby at heart. I'm going to cry when I see him. But if I don't know if I could cry if I saw him and he lost to Karen. I think I would just be like, there are no words. I'm sorry. Like, I'm just like emotionless. I just don't know how to handle this.
Someone sucked out of you.
Yeah. All right. Let's take this next question. This is from the aforementioned Stina Nitz, Christina on Twitter. She says, what is the worst move? Kevin putting Dylan on the block or Zach putting you on the block, JP? Hashtag RHAPpy hour. So, Melissa, I will ask you as an objective third party, what is a worse move? Zach nominating me, and maybe not nominating me because I asked to go up, but maybe Zach not using the veto, or Dylan, because this is what people have been saying is the dumbest, which move is dumber, Kevin doing this or the Zach JP thing. So what do you think? I think it's got to be Kevin, right? It's got to be Kevin. I mean, sorry, not Kevin. It's got to be me. It's got to be.
I was like, wait, all right. So now you've done a complete reversal on your point from earlier that you were very passionately arguing against me on.
Just give me and don't. I'm sorry, I'm biased, but what do you think? I won't be offended if you think Kevin's is dumber. I won't be offended.
No.
Tell me the honest truth.
I absolutely, wholeheartedly think that your move was way dumber.
Thank you. Thank you. And Zach's too. It was both of us.
Can't forget Zach, but mostly you.
And to do my homework on this, guys, I watched that episode again where Zach does not use the veto on me. I watched it again, and I was
like punishment.
And I watched when I volunteered to go on the block. Yes, I know, but I watched it because I was like, okay, like what am I missing? I need to watch this again. And I watched it, and I'm like, nope, this is still the dumbest move. It's not close.
You're like, maybe with time it's softened.
I'm like, maybe it's aged well. No,
this is not a fine wine. This is definitely not. This is like moldy. Like,
my God,
moldy fruit.
Yeah, Mom, if you're listening to this, I'm so sorry that I did that to you. Oh my God. I mean, it was hard enough watching me with the Kevin stuff this week. I cannot imagine what that must have been like for my family and
they're like,
fans. Yeah, that must not have been fun times. All right, let's take another question. I'm trying to kill some time here, Melissa. This one is from your friend, the Melissa bot. The Melissa bot, yes, your doppelganger.
Yeah.
The Melissa bot says, will Canada have a jury vote? What do you think about that? That would give it there would be 10 total votes then if Canada got a vote.
I don't see that happening because that would be, tough. Like, I mean, it would like kind of invite a tie potentially. So I think that when we originally thought that there was going to be an even number of jury members and we were like, that's kind of weird. There's probably something up their sleeves. Then we thought like, okay, yeah, it's got to be like a Canada's vote. But now I don't think so. I think that, it doesn't make any sense to try and like potentially have a tie. I mean, because then what do you do? Like do a revote or something? I don't know. So
yeah,
I don't think
you're asking for it if you're production. I feel like at that point, unless it's like some crazy thing where the vote from Canada is also like the tie-breaking vote or something, which I think that would be a little bit too much. So
yeah.
I don't think a Canada vote is in the cards this year. I think the only reason we saw that last year was because of the unique circumstances with Ramsey and his dad. So let's Luna says in the chat they're redoing former twists so they could nullify a juror again. They could do that. God. Give Canada a vote and then vote someone out of the jury. Now that would be fun. I would like that. That is
that would be interesting.
That I can get behind. All right, let's take this next question. This is from Stephanie Malk at Stephanie Malk on Twitter. She says, if Dominica makes final two, who is more likely to win this game? We talked about Kevin and versus them, but Dimitri versus Ika. That's one we haven't talked about yet. Based on the Cindy thing, does that influence how you think this would play down potentially, Melissa?
I think that the vets give it to Ika. I think all the vets would give it to her.
Do you think, Ika's talked a lot about there being, maybe a bitter jury or something like that. Do you think there is a chance that we see that if Ika's in the final two with Dimitri?
I don't think there would be a bitter jury. I mean, it doesn't seem like the jury is all that bitter. I mean, maybe Jackie, but I think Netta can talk some sense into her. I really don't see a bitter jury especially not from the jury segments. I don't know. I think Ika's just talking that up.
Do you think Netta would vote for Ika? Because I love Netta to death.
She said she would.
But from Netta's perspective, like, you could easily argue to vote for Dimitri. Dimitri has played a fantastic game. And, after some of the stuff Ika said to her, I mean, that's hard to get over. I'm sorry. Like, it is. And you can make an argument for both. I don't think, I believe Ika is probably the more deserving player. That's the wrong word. Ika should win over Dimitri. She played the better game. But I do think there is an argument that Dimitri should win as well, because if Dimitri wasn't there, Ika wouldn't be able to do any of the things she did this season, and Dimitri kept Ika sane. He was a big part of their social game.
Yeah, I mean, I absolutely think there's an argument for Dimitri's to win. Absolutely, no question. But I see Netta voting for Ika, because in her exit interview or some interview I saw with her, she was like, no, I would reward good gameplay. And she said it's like Ika's playing a good game and stuff like that. So I think that she recognizes the gameplay. And I don't think she's bitter when it comes to Ika. I mean, obviously she's probably not happy about it, but I don't think she's bitter when it comes to judging the game. I think that she's, got a mind for the game, and I don't see her getting clouded by that. But I mean, there is totally an argument that Dimitri should win. I think that he did a great job. Both of them did. I think that neither of them could get there without the other. So, they're both deserving. Well, deserving, but yeah.
They both have cases to win this game.
Yes.
I think the interesting thing here is that it would be a little bit up in the air, I think, with this, in terms of knowing. I think Ika would definitely have the edge based on the fact that she's a vet, based on, all that. But I mean, Dimitri's overcome all this adversity. I think the newbies might want to see a newbie win this game. So,
he was on the block week 1.
Yes. And I think if you look at the social game, again, these relationships he's built with these people as they're going out the door. I mean, he is, he's gone out of his way to make people feel good about him, other than, when Netta went home. So, I think this could be like Big Brother Canada 3, where it came down to Sarah Hanlon and Godfrey in the final 3, and the viewing audience didn't really have their finger on the pulse of okay, who's going to win this? Is it Godfrey or is it Sarah? Sarah screwed over a lot of people. Godfrey's played a great game, and then it turned out to be a blowout in favor of Sarah Hanlon. So could be like that for Ike and Dimitri, but it could also be close as well. So hard to say. Yeah. Do you think, based on what you've seen on feeds, Melissa, would they take each other to the final 2?
I think yes.
Okay.
I think they would. I mean, Ika's ready to give up her game for Dimitri's, so I think
that's true.
I think they both take each other. The one factor is maybe Dimitri's cuts Ika, but I don't know if I see that happening. I really don't. I think they both take each other.
Yeah, I could definitely see that happening there. This one is from Crimnasium on Twitter. Crimnasium says, how's that BB can draft going for you? Hashtag RHAPpy hour. Yeah, Melissa, you have Dimitri left, right? Is that the only person you have?
Yes, but I had 2 people for the longest time. I was doing very well for myself. And then
you know what? It could be your second round pick versus my first round pick in the final 2.
Ooh, yeah,
Ika versus Dimitri in the end. And look, who would have thought, Ika first round pick? Who called it? I'm just saying.
I
You
know,
I'm not gonna
it's pretty
brag,
crazy.
but you guys were like, "Oh, you took Ika in the first round," but yeah, I did.
Who has
Now who's
Kevin
laughing?
is with Taryn,
Kevin's
right?
with Taryn, of course. So I'm so conflicted because
I know, it's like we don't want Taryn to win.
I want Taryn to lose so bad,
Same.
but I also want Kevin to win. So
Yeah, no.
I am
We can't let Taryn win.
I am so lost.
He's gonna hold it over all of our heads.
Yes,
Not gonna be good.
He definitely will. He definitely will. All right, let's see. Are there any other questions here? We have Patrick McNeil says, was the guy leading the group of tourists into the house the voice of Marsha? Sounded like it. Yes, it was. We talked about that earlier.
Oh, he does the voice of Marsha?
Yes, Trevor Boyce does the voice of Marsha. That also is talked about
Oh.
on the Aaron Brock and Arissa Cox podcast. So
well.
So there you go. All right, let's see. Do we have anything else? Jordan gets fired up about Big Brother. That made my day. Shout out to Jordan. Oh, this Matt Gagan. Shout out to Jordan Parr for not going to Toronto this week, so I'm not the only one feeling left out. Thanks, Matt. That's for my buddy Matt Gagan. Matt, you're welcome for also staying behind.
Yeah, I'm also glad
and
too.
Melissa too. So there we go. Yeah,
I'm the only person who's like not going.
Could have been the Melissa Deni.
Now,
I think that could have been good. I would have watched that. That would have been fun.
Yeah, I try and host it myself.
Okay, let's see. John Heddles, should Dimitri replace Zac Efron in the Baywatch sequel, considering how he looked in that comp? Yeah, Melissa, what do you think? Dimitri's is pretty jacked. They all looked really good.
Yes.
I think in that, like you saw in that,
yeah,
like,
I thought they did.
Karen looked great too. I was like, oh man, damn.
Thank you. I was thinking the same thing because on the live feed she had said like it was so mean of them to make me wear that bathing suit. Like I looked terrible, and I was just like waiting to see it, and I was like, oh, poor Karen. And then I looked at it, and I was like, she looks great. What is she talking about? Like, I don't get it. Everybody looked really good.
Yeah,
apparently the Baywatch suit looks good on everyone.
Apparently, well, hey, or there's just a really great looking bunch in there this season. Who knows? All right, this is I think that's gonna do it, Melissa, for this edition of the Happy Hour. And I didn't get into this at the start of the show, but I told you this. I'm pretty sure. I think this is my last Happy Hour. I think this is it for me. Yes. So yeah, this is the last one for me because next week I'm in Toronto for the Big Brother Canada 5 finale. Gonna go see my boy Kev. Gonna see all these fools there in the BB Can house. It's gonna be so fun. I really can't wait to see everybody. So that was why I couldn't go to Toronto for the RHAP live show tomorrow, is because I'm already going to Toronto. It's just next week. So yeah, this is my last show on the Happy Hour. I will, however, be on RHAP on Monday. So this isn't my last podcast as a measure of robhaswebsite.com. But this is, I believe, my last Happy Hour, unless there's some bonus one at the end of the day. And who knows, maybe there is. But just based on talking behind the scenes, I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm pretty sure this is it. So
that's such a bummer.
Yeah, I it's it is what it is. But so someone says in the chat, "Few, yep, you're welcome. I'm gone, so you don't have to worry about me anymore."
Okay, all right. To be fair, you also had a lot of no's in the chat. Oh no, and we'll miss you. So you didn't just have the negatives.
That is true.
People like you.
Thank you, Melissa. I appreciate it. But yes, but yeah, thanks to everybody so much. If this is the last episode of the Happy Hour, it's been a lot of fun. It's been a really fun 2 years. I've really enjoyed it. I won't go fully into goodbye mode because I'll be on Monday's show, so you'll see me there. But this is the last time I guess I'll be hosting a podcast, I guess, for the foreseeable future. So yeah, whether, if you've been a true believer since day one, or, if you've been listening for the last week, I appreciate you listening. Thank you. If this is your first episode, thanks for listening. I appreciate it. But yeah, this is the end of the road for me. And unfortunately, I just had to call it quits. So I'll see you guys on Monday. I'll be hopefully explaining, we'll do a bit of a deep dive in my goodbye a little bit more then. I'm terrible at goodbyes, so I don't really know what I'm going to say. But you can tune into that show. That'll be live after the Monday night eviction. It'll be a special eviction. I believe that's when we will see who has won the final four, HOH and the POV, and somebody gets evicted, all that good stuff. So be on the lookout for that. That'll be on Rob's website.com live after the East Coast airing of the episode. 1 week from tonight, the LFC will be doing a recap of BB Can 5, and they'll be back again after the finale. So that should be a lot of fun. Melissa will be there. So you can definitely check that out. Should be really fun. We're gonna have a good winner. So hopefully no veils from Brent this year. But otherwise, guys, thank you so much. I really appreciate all of the all of the love and the support. It's been a great ride. And you know, if this is my last if this is indeed the last RHAPpy hour ever, thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Couldn't have done it without you guys. And I am really gonna miss you, but I'll be around. You'll see me. I'm not dead. So I'll see you guys on Monday. Melissa, any final thoughts before we get out of here? Any hashtag ideas?
Hashtags are hard.
Moms love Dylan. Maybe that.
Moms love Dylan.
Moms love Dylan. Okay. Moms love Dylan. So we'll go with Moms love Dylan. Who would have thunk it that Dylan would make it in for the last ever RHAPpy hour hashtag? But there you go. So thanks guys so much.
He's the hero. He's the hero.
Dylan,
you keep forgetting.
Dylan is the hero. So thanks guys. I love you so much. I will see you on Monday's show. We'll do one last final hurrah before I ride off into the sunset.
Into the sunset.
That is going to do it for Melissa Deni. I'm Jordan Parhar. Hashtag Moms Love Dylan. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Peace out.